10th of December 2022. We're reading Dracula, chapter 24. Do.
I put the cogs into the box and then I've got another load. After a while my arms will get tired and then this job will blow. But I could be replaced by a machine that does my work in half the time. But I don't know where I'd go, 'cause I prefer putting cogs into the box. Now I've got another load. Only just a few more hours and then I'm free to go. But I can't cease in questioning if I really have a home. It makes me sick to think of it, 'cause I prefer
Bring on the creepers, bring on the flames. Here comes the legend, the bravest of brave. Fiercer than lions, more southern than you. He's conquered our hearts, and he'll conquer hell too. Joe Hills. The summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. There's no wind in your sails, but the storm's blowing stronger. Walking hard, standing tall, keeping your head up through it all. Fighting fires, spinning plates. Goodness, how did it get so late? Lay your head down and dream. 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 Just let your mind flow downstream. Sprawl out in a moonbeam. Lay your head down and dream. Joe Hills is filmed before a live streaming audience.
That's us! Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. And tonight, y'all are my live streaming audience. We are currently working on our scale model of a pinball machine I am building and designing here on the HermitCraft Season 9 server. Our friend Jevin is also online. As a courtesy to him, let's set our status. Streaming. Open. Boom. Next problem. As you can see, the camera has already expanded several times. We did a 3-hour stream earlier today working on the ocean inside the pinball cabinet. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. We are currently at 80% Joepacity and $10 away from the next face camera expansion. Glad y'all could be here tonight for Dracula! Count Dracula! You've heard of me! No, I'm not me. Dracula's somebody else. But anyway, chapter 24 of Dracula will be the most challenging chapter of Dracula we have yet read. I made the decision a long time ago, noticing that Dr. Van Helsing didn't have that many lines. I was like, oh, I could voice him like Artie, the strongest man in the world from Pete and Pete. That would be a good laugh. until now. It's chapter 24. It opens with an entire segment entitled Dr. Seward's Phonograph Diary, spoken by Van Helsing. And I normally try not to read ahead about this because part of this is that we roll into here and we just experience Dracula. We don't overthink it. We don't read too much. But like when I saw that first heading last week, I was like, oh, this is going to be a lot. So before the stream tonight, I was like, let me just see what the next segment is. Maybe we just have to power through this one segment. Well, good news, everyone. The next segment after this Van Helsing phonograph segment, which I'm linking this, chapter 24, boom, going in all the chats, all three. The next segment is Jonathan Harker's journal. Jonathan Harker, that's an easy one. I use my far too serious voice. I used to use that at work 8 hours a day to explain to people why they shouldn't have me make changes to their database that are foolish. So, like, I can do that voice. That voice is easy. And I'm like, okay, so what's after Jonathan Harker's journal? That's kind of a short segment. Oh, Mina Harker's journal. That's an easy one. I could do that. Oh my God. Our meeting for report. Present. Professor Van Helsing. Lord Godalming. Dr. Seward. Oh, what an easy voice. I could do this voice all day. I could welcome Devin Crotties with this voice. I could say, hey, Devin Crotties, welcome. But then the problem is that the Mina Harker's journal section immediately runs into Dr. Van Helsing described what steps were taken during the day to discover on what boat and whitherbound Count Dracula made his escape. And then there's like 20 more paragraphs from Van Helsing. So this is going to be a big Van Helsing chapter. If you like the Van Helsing parts of these streams, this is your day. I prepared for this. I was like, you know what? Normally, I don't make another French press of coffee at night. That's something for the morning. But you know, I decided I'm going to make myself another French press of coffee. I'm going to get my Christmas Village mug out because it reminds me of the holidays. You can see the chromed out tree there. Little Christmas Village mug. It's very happy. I love it. You know, okay, that'll cheer me up. I as the French press is steeping the coffee, that was when I was like, let me read ahead here. And I realized how much more Van Helsing there was. And I was like, while I wait for the coffee to finish, let me chug a Red Bull. So this is a Red Bull plus French press stream. We are going into this strong, like ox, because, wow, Van Helsing talks. Okay, so in terms of the actual work we're going to get done during the Van Helsing reading, I've got a whole bunch of stuff here I need to pull out. I've also got some signs for this next segment. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the signs while I read, especially, like, honestly, the problem with the Van Helsing segments is I can't actually keep my hands on the keyboard and mouse while I do them because I need to flex to do the strongman vibrato. So we're probably not going to make a ton of progress. I'm going to be honest, for the first half of this stream when we're doing all the Van Helsing stuff. I know y'all love progress in Minecraft. That's one of the reasons you come to HermitCraft streams. But I just have to be realistic here. We're going to we're going to power through. We're going to power through. Queenova Raiden, welcome Queenova Raiders. Glad you could join us. Here we go. Let's just jump right in. I don't think we have any tips I need to acknowledge. Let's check that before we start. Once again, tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay. Here we go. Chapter 24. Dr. Seward's Phonograph Diary. Spoken by Van Helsing. This to Jonathan Harker! You are to stay with your dear Madam Mina! We shall go to make our search, if I can call it so, for it is not search, but knowing! And we seek confirmation only. But do you stay and take care of her today? This is your best
and most holiest office. This day nothing can find him here. Let me tell you, so that you will know what we foreknow already, for I have tell them. He, our enemy, have gone away. He have gone back to his castle in Transylvania. I know it so well, as if it were a great hand of fire wrote it on the wall. He have prepared for this in some way, and that last earth box was ready to ship somewheres. For this he took the money. For this he hurry at the last, lest we catch him before the sun go down. It was his last hope, save that he might hide in the tomb that he think poor Miss Lucy, being as he thought like him, keep open to him. But there was not of time. When that fell, he make straight for his last resource, his last great earthwork, I might say, did I wish, double intente. He is clever, oh, so clever. He know that his game here was finished, so he decide to go back home. He find ship going by same route he came, and he go in on it. We go off now to find what ship, and whither bound. When we have discovered that, we come back and tell you all. Then we will comfort you, and poor dear Madam Mina with new hope. For it will be hope, when you think it over, that all is not lost. This very creature that we pursue, he take hundreds of years to get so far as London, and yet in one day, when we know of the disposal of him, we drive him out. He is finite, though he is powerful to do much harm, and suffers not as we do, but we are strong, each in our purpose, and we are all more strong together. Take heart afresh, dear husband of Madam Mina. This battle is but begun, and in the end we shall win. So sure as that God sits on high to watch over his children. Therefore, be of much comfort till we return.
Van Helsing. Okay, so that was the first segment. Boy, you probably woke the neighborhood yelling that. Let's grab some more rockets out of here. Whew. Okay, I'm still alive. Still alive. I noticed that the chat got really quiet during that. I was checking the chat to see. I was like, is this too much? And I'm like, they're not saying anything either way. It's probably the right amount. Let's just keep going. I don't know. Oh, boy. So, the next segment is Jonathan Harker's journal for the 4th of October. Oh, boy. Apparently, I have comforted Kingu's dog, who has apparently been stressed out all day due to the bad weather, and finds my Van Helsing performances particularly comforting. I'm glad that I can bring some comfort Reese Place says, funnily enough, this is helping my anxiety. Who knew? This is clearly what I was meant for, you know? I just need to lean into it. Chloe the Great and Powerful tips 3 and says, yay, Dracula! Woo! Thank you, Chloe the Great and Powerful. That puts us 7 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. A lot of people are like, Joe, hydrate. Yeah, no, vocal cords. Warm drink. Okay, we've also got a tip rolling in here for another 7 from Zoe, tail wagging happily. That's the name of Kingu's dog. What a coincidence. That's going to put us evenly at our next face camera expansion milestone. We are currently at 80% Joe Pasty, so we're about to drop that a little bit lower. Here we go. Expand Jost. Do. Lowering the Joe Pasty now to 70%. What? Woo. There we are. Woo. Love that. Okay. Trying to work all of my vocal cords. Gotta stretch them out after that yelling. So, okay. Uh-oh. So I think that we need to drop right into bed here and continue with Jonathan Harker's journal, which is easier to play and read during. I'm going to put this extra keyboard down again since we're not actively placing those signs, and I don't really need it for this part. Okay. Did y'all see that? He came out of nowhere. Okay. Here we go. Far too serious voice. This is my dealing with clients voice at my old job. I think we're all very excited about this project. But what you're asking for is a second project. And that's equally exciting, as I'd love to continue working with you. But there's no way we can meet our original deadline while changing the spec this wildly. As brilliant and exciting as it may be. Okay, here we go. Jonathan Harker's journal. 4th October. When I read to Mina Van Helsing's message in the phonograph, the poor girl brightened up considerably. Already, the certainty that the Count is out of the country has given her comfort, and comfort is strength to her. For my own part, now that this horrible danger is not face to face with us, it seems almost impossible to believe in it. Even my own terrible experiences in Castle Dracula seem like a long-forgotten dream. Here, in the crisp autumn sunlight. Alas, how can I disbelieve? In the midst of my thought, my eye fell on the red scar on my poor darling wife's forehead. Whilst that lasts, there can be no disbelief. And afterwards, the very memory of it will keep faith crystal clear. Mina and I fear to be idle, so we have been over all the diaries again and again. Somehow, although the reality seems greater every time, the pain and the fear seem less. There is something of a guiding purpose manifest throughout, which is comforting. Mina says that perhaps we are the instruments of an ultimate good. It may be. I shall try to think as she does. We have never spoken to each other yet of the future. It is better to wait till we see the professor and the others after their investigations. The day is running by more quickly than I ever thought a day could run for me again. It is now 3 o'clock. That ends that segment of Jonathan Harker's journal. Okay, so let me just check up on the chats, make sure everybody's doing good. Okay. I can kind of skim the chats while I'm reading to make sure there's, like, not bots and stuff. I don't mind, like, I feel like I can do an okay job of moderating even when I'm reading, but I can't necessarily, like, I can kind of, like, tell, like, is this normal people having a normal conversation or is this a bot? But I can't necessarily, like, pay attention to what y'all are saying. So I have to kind of catch up afterwards. TARDIS Grump says, I can hear, please take this seriously, but don't fire me in this voice. Exactly. This is brilliant. This is so brilliant. It needs to be its own project with a separate budget. I can't wait to see what you propose. Rather than, there's no way we can get this done by Christmas, and the current project is supposed to be done by Christmas. Please, please, please don't make me do this. The people in the YouTube chat are like, I don't know if they should call this a normal conversation. I mean, it's mundane to the context. So, I mean, that's normal in that way. Far too serious voice. Because that's the thing, is like you don't want your like database guy talking like this. Okay. So somehow we are out of torches. Where can we get more? It's a mystery. Queen Nova says, what are you making? I am making a colossal scale pinball machine. So 256 meters deep, 128 meters wide. I'm currently draining the ocean that it's rising out of. It goes all the way up to build height. The reason I'm doing it at this scale is because doing it at this scale allows me to have it work as maps in Minecraft. So I've aligned this with maps. I'm designing custom artwork and a custom playfield for this. The cabinet itself is based on the Spooky Pinball Total Nuclear Annihilation cabinet, which, Queen Nova, if you love pinball, you might have seen Total Nuclear Annihilation on location near you. I don't know if you do much IFPA play, but I love pinball too. I actually had... last night, I took the night off streaming because I had promised my daughter the next pinball tournament that was not a school night I would take her to. And we had a Stern Bond launch party at Game Galaxy down in Smyrna, which is a little bit out of town. But my daughter and I both competed in the launch party tournament. We didn't make the finals, or the semifinals even, but we both had a really fun time. And so thank you all for your patience last night. I know a lot of you appreciate how regularly I keep my streaming schedule normally, but around the end of the year, a lot of places that host pinball tournaments are trying to cram in every extra event they can before state qualifying closes. And so, unfortunately, a lot of the pinball tournaments in Nashville are like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights, which are all school nights, so my daughter doesn't get to go to any of them. So when there's a rare event on a Friday or a Saturday, it's like, I gotta get her out there. She wants to play, I want her to play, that sort of thing. So, anyway. We are out here having a good time working on this machine for the moment. I'm also reading chapter 24 of Dracula. I've been reading one chapter of Dracula every week. Saturday night is my work on really grindy stuff week. Or not week, night. Oh my gosh. So... Okay, sorry, I'm just catching up on all the chats. Yeah. Saturday night is my do grindy stuff night while I read Dracula. So I try to structure my whole streaming and recording week around that. So like this project in particular, I've done a lot of the hard to do while reading detail already, but like the sand removal I can do while I'm reading. Except for when I'm reading the Van Helsing parts, which, oh, by the way, we're about to roll into now. Quick reminder. We are currently 20 even away from our next face camera expansion milestone. This is not an advertiser-supported stream. Microsoft is not paying me to play their game Minecraft, and the Bram Stoker estate is not paying me to read this book. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/showhills and YouTube Super Chat. Here we go. The next segment, Mina Harker's Journal, the 5th of October, 5 p.m. Our meeting for report. Present, Professor Van Helsing, Lord Godalming, Dr. Seward, Mr. Quincy Morris, Jonathan Harker, Mina Harker. Dr. Van Helsing described what steps were taken during the day to discover on what boat and whither bound Count Dracula made his escape.
As I knew that he wanted to get back to Transylvania, I I felt sure that he must go by the Danube mouth, or by somewhere in the Black Sea, since by that way he came. It was a dreary blank that was before us, omni ignotum pro magnifico. And so, with heavy hearts, we start to find what ships leave for the Black Sea that night. He was in a sailing ship, since Madam Mina tell of sails being set. These not so important as to go in your list of the shipping in the Times. And so we go, by suggestion of Lord Godalming, to your Lloyd's, where a note of all ships that sail, however so small. There we find that only one Black Sea-bound ship go out with the tide. She is the Sarina Catherine, and she sail from Doolittle's Wharf for Varna, and thence on to other parts and up the Danube. So, said I, this is the ship whereon is the Count. So, off we go to Doolittle's Wharf, and there we find a man in an office of wood so small that the man looked bigger than the office. From him we inquire of the goings to the Sarina Catherine. He swear much, and he red face and loud of voice, but he good fellow all the same. And when Quincy give him something from his pocket, which crackle as he roll it up, and put it in so small a bag, which he have hid deep in his clothing, so still better fellow and humble servant to us, he come with us and ask many men who are rough and hot. These be better fellows too, when they have been no more thirsty. They say much of blood and bloom, and of others which I comprehend not, though I guess what they mean. But nevertheless they tell us all things which we want to know. They make known to us among them how last afternoon at about 5 o'clock comes a man so hurry, a tall man, thin and pale, with high nose and teeth so white, and eyes that seem to be burning, that he be all in black, except that he have a hat of straw, which suit him not, or the time.
Hold on, wait, I have an unsuitable hat of straw. I should have read this ahead. 1 second, I'll be right back with my hat of straw. Oh boy, I should have put my headphones on first. This is actually Badger's Hat of Straw. This is my fiance's. We got this before Play on Con. Okay. Where were we? Okay. So Dracula shows up wearing a giant hat of straw to shade him from the sun. This is great. This is a great, like, I've seen, like, in Adventure Time, Marceline, the vampire queen, will wear, like, a huge straw hat when it's sunny out or whatever, or, like, have a parasol. But, like, this is in Bram Stoker's original Dracula. It's Dracula rolling up to the docks in something like this. I've read this before, but somehow I missed that detail. This is why you read the original. There's brilliant stuff in there. Brilliant stuff in there. Oh boy, I'm kicking a keyboard on my feet. Is it? Okay, it's not daytime. It's not nighttime. Can I fix this somehow so the hat and the headphones aren't... Oh no, there is no way to fix that so they're not fighting. Okay. There's no way to put this over the hat. This is not working well. Bum bum bum. Okay. I can't tell which parts of this are actually in frame because I'm not like... Okay. Here we go. Okay, so Dracula showed up with the unsuitable straw hat.
That he scatter his money in making quick inquiry as to what ship sails for the Black Sea and for where. Some took him to the office and then to the ship, where he will not go aboard, but halt at shore end of gangplank and ask that the captain come to him. The captain come, when told he will be pay well, and though he swear much at the first, he agree to term. Then the thin man go, and someone tell him where horse and cart can be hired. He go there, and soon he come again, himself driving on cart, on which a great box. This he himself lift down, though it takes several to put on truck for the ship. He give much talk to captain as to how and where his box is to be placed, but the captain like it not, and swear at him in many tongues, and tell him if he like he can come and see where it shall be. But he say no, that he not come yet, for that he have much to do. Whereupon the captain tell him that he had better come quick with blood, for that his ship will leave the place of blood before the turn of the tide with blood. Then the thin man smile and say that of course he must go when he think fit, but he will be surprised if he go quite so soon. The captain swear again, polyglot, and the thin man make him bow and thank him, and say that he will so far intrude on his kindness as to come aboard before the sailing. Final, the captain, more red than ever, and in more tongues, tell him that he does not want no Frenchmen with bloom upon them, and also with blood in his ship, with blood on her also. And so, asking where there might be, close at hand, a ship where he might purchase ship forms, he departed.
Whew. Yeah, so Nepeta says, I missed the context for this with blood thing. So I think this is Van Helsing summarizing some like local British dock workers using the word bloody a lot. And so this is him like he's pointing out how they kept using the word bloody constantly, and Van Helsing thinks this might be important because Dracula feeds on blood. But it's just him not understanding. Like, he knows that they're swearing, but he thinks they're also talking about blood while they're swearing. It's a joke about Van Helsing being an outsider to British dock worker. Yeah, it's lost in translation. Hey, Sammy, I'm just wearing my Dracula sun hat. Apparently, at this part of Dracula, he shows up at the docks in a ludicrously wide sun hat, which I've seen vampires do in comedies, but I didn't realize it was in Bram Stoker's Dracula until tonight, so I had to run. This is Badger's play-on-con hat that we bought her, so she would not burst into flames in Birmingham, Alabama, at our favorite gaming convention. But yeah. Yeah, so no, this is Van Helsing doesn't understand what's going on. It's not that you're doing a bad job, Nepeta, of understanding this. It's that this is a misunderstanding. Okay, so Ryan says that hat is entirely suitable. Thank you. Centauratron says, does Badger is vampire? My fiance is not a vampire, but she is from England, and so taking her to Alabama to hang out in the sun in July means we should probably get her a parasol and a sun hat, which we did. Right? England does not experience the intensity of sunlight that Alabama gets in the middle of July, right? So, okay, we're going to wait until night turns into day, and then we're going to resume reading. But that was a good question, Nepeta. Okay. Quick reminder, once again, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. We are 20 even away from the next face camera expansion and the entrance, or no, not the entrance of the Joes, and the Tony Stark helmet cam, which, of course, is the most obnoxious face camera expansion. Okay. So, okay, I gotta get British dock worker for a second here. Oi, mate. No one knew I went or bloomin' well cared.
As they said, for they had something else to think of. Well, with blood again, for it soon became apparent to all that the Tsarina Catherine would not sell as expected. A thin mist began to creep up from the river. It grew and grew till soon a dense fog enveloped the ship and all around her. The captain swore polyglot, very polyglot with bloom and blood, but he could do nothing. The water rose and rose, and he began to fear he would lose the tide altogether. He was in no friendly mood when, just at full tide, the thin man came up the gangplank and asked to see where his box had been stowed. Then the captain replied that he wished he and his box, old with much bloom and blood, were in hell. But the thin man did not be offended, and went down with the mate, and saw where it was placed, and came up, and stood a while on the deck in fog. He must have come off by himself, for none noticed him. Indeed, they thought not of him, for soon the fog began to melt away, and it was clear again. My friends of the thirst and the language, that was of bloom and blood, laughed as they told how the captain swears exceeded even his usual polyglot, and was more than ever full of the picturesque, when on questioning other mariners who were on movement up and down the river that hour, he found that few of them had seen any fog at all, except where it lay round the wharf. However, the ship went out on the ebb tide, and was doubtless by morning far down the river mouth. She was by then, when they told us, well out to sea. And so, my dear Madam Mina, it is that we have to rest for a time, for our enemy is on the sea, with the fog at his command, on his way to the Danube mouth. To sail a ship takes time, go she never so quick, and when we start, we go on land more quick, and we meet him there. Our best hope is to come on him when in the box between sunrise and sunset, for then he can make no struggle, and we may deal with him as we should. There are days for us in which we can make ready our plan. We know all about where he go, for we have seen the owner of the ship, who have shown us invoices and all papers that can be. The box we seek is to be landed in Varna, and to be given to an agent, one Ristix, who will there present his credentials, and so our merchant friend will have done his part. When he asks if there be any wrong, for that so he can telegraph and have inquiry made at Varna, we say no, for what is to be done is not for police or customs. It must be done by us alone, in our own way.
When Dr. Van Helsing had been done speaking, I asked him if he was certain that the Count had remained on board the ship. he replied,
"We have the best proof of that, your own evidence, when in the hypnotic trance this morning."
I asked him again if it were really necessary that they should go pursue the Count, for I dread Jonathan leaving me, and I know that he would surely go if the others went. He answered in growing passion, at first quietly. As he went on, however, he grew more angry and more forceful, till in the end we could not but see wherein was at least some of that personal dominance that made him so long a master among men.
"Yes, it is necessary, necessary, necessary for your sake in the first, and then for the sake of humanity. This monster has done much harm already in the narrow scope where he finds himself, and in the short time when as yet he was only a body groping his so small measure in the darkness and not knowing. All this have I told the others. You, my dear Madam Mina, will learn it in the phonograph of my friend John, or in that of your husband. I have told him how the measures of leaving his own barren land, barren of peoples, and coming to a new land where life of man teems, till they are like the multitude of corn, was the work of centuries. Were another of the undead like him to try to do what he has done, perhaps not all the centuries of the world that have been or will be could aid him. With this one, all the forces of nature that are occult and deep and strong must have worked together in some wondrous way. The very place where he have been alive, undead, for all these centuries, is full of strangeness of the geologic and chemical world. There are deep caverns and fissures that reach none know whither. There have been volcanoes, some of whose openings still send out waters of strange proportions, and the gases that kill or make to vivify. Doubtless there is something magnetic or electric in some of these occult forces which work for physical life in strange way, and in himself were from the first some great qualities. In a hard and warlike time, he was celebrate that he have more iron nerve, more subtle brain, more braver heart than any man. In him some vital principle have in some strange way found their utmost, and as his body keeps strong and grow and thrive, so his brain grow too. All this without the diabolical aid which is surely to him, for it have to yield to the powers that come from and are symbolic of good. And now this is what he is to us. He have infect you. Forgive me, my dear, that I must say such, but it is for good of you that I must speak. He infect you in such wise that even if he do no more, you have only to live in your own old sweet way, and in so time death, which is of man's common lot, and with God's sanction, shall make you like to him. This must not be. We have sworn together that it must not. Thus, we are ministers of God's own wish, that the world and men for whom his Son died will not be given over to monsters, whose very existence would defame him. He have allowed us to redeem one soul already, and we go out as the old knights of the cross to redeem more. Like them, we shall travel toward the sunrise. And like them, if we fall in good cause.
He paused, and I said, "But will not the Count take his rebuff wisely? Since he had been driven from England, will he not avoid it? As a tiger does the village from which he has been hunted?"
Aha! Your simile of the tiger, good! And for me, I shall adopt him, your man-eater, as they of India call the tiger, who has once tasted the blood of the human, care no more for other prey, but prowl unceasing till he get him. This that we hunt from our village is a tiger too, a man-eater, and he never cease to prowl. Nay, in himself he is not one to retire and stay afar. In his life, his living life, he go over the Turkey frontier and attack his enemy in his own ground. He be beaten back, but did he stay? No! He come again, and again, and again. Look at his persistence and endurance. With this child brain that was to him, he have long since conceived the idea of coming to a great city. What does he do? He find out the place of all the world most of promise to him. Then he deliberately set himself down to prepare for the task. He find in patience just how is his strength, and what are his powers. He study new tongues. He learn new social life, new environment of old ways, the politic, the law, the finances, the science, the habit of a new land, and a new people who have come to be since he was. His glimpse that he have had whet his appetite only, and in keen his desire. Nay, it help him to grow as to his brains, for it all proved to him how right he was at the first in his surmises. He have done this alone, all alone, from a ruined tomb in a forgotten land. What more may he not do when the greater world of thought is open to him? He that can smile at death, as we know him, who can flourish in the midst of diseases that kill off whole peoples. Oh, if such a one was to come from God and not the devil, what a force for good must he not be in this world of ours? But we are pledged to set the world free. Our toil must be in silence, and our efforts all in secret. For in this enlightened age, when men believe not even what they see, doubting of wise men would be his greatest strength. It would be at once his sheath and his armor and his weapons to destroy us, his enemies, who are willing to peril even our own souls, for the safety of one we love, for the good of mankind, and for the honor and the glory of God.
After a general discussion, it was determined that for tonight, nothing could be definitely settled, that we should all go sleep on the facts and try to think out the proper conclusions. Tomorrow, at breakfast, we ought to meet again. And, after making our conclusions made to one another, we shall decide on some definite cause of action. I feel a wonderful peace and rest tonight. It is as if some haunting presence were removed from me. Perhaps, my surmise was not finished. It could not be, for I caught sight in the mirror of the red mark upon my forehead, and I knew I was still unclean. So that concludes Mina's little entry there. Whew. Are we out of the woods yet? No! Dr. Seward has a bunch of Van Helsing stuff in his segment coming up. Hopefully not as much. I haven't read this far ahead. But I'm sweating. Like, the Van Helsing stuff. Welcome also to Roxanne59 Raiders. We're reading Dracula tonight. My hair is everywhere because of the hat and my headphones. When I read the other characters, I can work on draining this ocean, but when I read Van Helsing, I have to flex to get the strongman vibrato. I have to vibrate my torso to get the voice right. So, anyway. A lot of people in the chat's telling me to hydrate. Like Lakshmi13 in the Discord chat. Thank you, Lakshmi. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I got my Christmas Village mug. I got it at PAX in Philadelphia. It says Christmas Village in Philadelphia. It's got the Philadelphia skyline. I got this at PAX last year. when I went with my friends to the Christmas village. It was really nice. Okay. The coffee has gone cold. So I think I've been... Wow, we are an hour into this stream. Just as a quick reminder, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay. So let's try and get some work done on this. Oh boy, how did I get all this sand? Was that from before when I was mining all this? I didn't realize I'd mined that much sand when I was reading the Jonathan Harker segment. I guess that's just how this goes, though. Like, whew. Gusty Gale, you can go to a store and buy a sun hat. I mean, I'm going to recommend you try to find a local dealer who, like, weaves the hats themselves if you can. We had to buy ours at a random retail store, though, because it was, like, the day before PlayOnCon. And my fiance realized, she was just my girlfriend then, but she realized, like, oh, boy, I don't have a hat. It's going to be hot and sunny, right? And I was like, yeah, it's going to be hot and sunny. NJ went to the Christmas Village in Philadelphia this year. Awesome. I hope you enjoyed your bootleg wine. Okay. Let's see. We have some coal here. That's way more coal than I think I need. I think I only need 31 coal. So, yeah, we're going to make some more torches here. Have a good night, TARDIS Grump. Okay. Lay your head down, dream. Okay. So we're going to read this Dr. Seward section next. Yeah, all this Van Helsing stuff is why I chugged a Red Bull and have a French press of coffee, which I have worked almost my entire way through. There's a lot of energy that goes into that. Okay, so welcome, Scoop VR. We're reading Dracula, chapter 24 tonight. If you want to follow along at home, here is the Project Gutenberg link to the text. This is the original Bram Stoker's Dracula we're reading. I was surprised. People were like, wait, which version of Dracula are you reading? I'm like, the original? Why would I read something that's not? I'm a primary source kind of guy. Okay. Welcome, RC No 1022. Glad you could join us. Okay. We are in the process of gathering some torches. Placing some torches to gather some sand. We are draining the ocean inside of our pinball machine cabinet here. I have been well. I am kind of exhausted because we just read the first half of chapter 24 from Bram Stoker's Dracula, and it's all Van Helsing parts. It's all Van Helsing parts. I thought it would be funny when I started reading this book to voice Van Helsing like Artie, the strongest man in the world, from Nickelodeon's Pete and Pete. Because it's like, well, he never has that many lines together. And then all of a sudden it's like, here's a chapter that's like 50% Van Helsing. And I'm just like screaming. It's fun. This is how we learn. This is how we learn. Elijah says, I hope you're not solely... Oh, how did I... Oh, wait. Hold on. I did that with the foot keyboard. I hit the F5 button with the foot keyboard. I got a second keyboard plugged into my computer for when I'm doing complex tasks. So I can hit keys that are hard to reach with my foot. And I accidentally just leaned on it. RC Knox says, I bet it made your voice scratchy. A little bit. I actually should mute so I can clear my throat. La 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 la. Unique New York. Here we go.
Candles in the windows, shadows painting the ceiling.
Okay, yeah, I'm feeling better now. Cool. So anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Doesn't look like we had any tips roll in during that segment. Let's go ahead and continue with the next segment here, which is Dr. Seward's diary for the 5th of October. Okay. So I think I can read this while I continue working here. Dr. Seward's a lot easier than Van Helsing. Dr. Seward's diary, 5th October. We all rose early, and I think that sleep did much for each and all of us. When we met at early breakfast, there were more general cheerfulness than any of us had ever expected to experience again. It is really wonderful how much resilience there is in human nature. Let any obstructing cause, no matter what, be removed in any way, even by death, and we fly back to the first principles of hope and enjoyment. More than once as we sat around the table, my eyes opened in wonder whether the whole of the past days had been a dream. It was only when I caught sight of the red blotch on Miss Harker's forehead that I was brought back to reality. Even now, when I am gravely revolving this matter, it is almost impossible to realize that the cause of all our trouble is still existent. Even Mrs. Harker seems to lose sight of her trouble for whole spells. It is only now and again, when something recalls it to her mind, that she thinks of the terrible scar. We are to meet here in my study in half an hour and decide upon our course of action. I see only one immediate difficulty. I know it by instinct rather than by reason. We shall all have to speak frankly, and yet I fear that in some mysterious way Mrs. Harker's tongue is tied. I know that she forms conclusions of her own, and from all that has been, I can guess how brilliant and how true they must be. But she will not or cannot give an utterance. I have mentioned this to Van Helsing, and he and I are to talk it over when we are alone. I suppose it is some of that horrid poison which has got into her veins. Beginning to work. The Count had his own purposes when he gave her what Van Helsing called the vampire baptism of blood. Well, there may be a poison that distills itself out of good things in an age when the existence of ptomaines is a mystery. We should not wonder at anything. One thing I know, that if my instinct be true regarding poor Miss Harker's silence, then there is a terrible difficulty, an unknown danger, in the work before us. The same power that compels her silence may compel her speech. I dare not think further, for so I should, in my own thoughts, dishonor a noble woman. Van Helsing is coming to my study before the others. I shall try to open the subject with him. So that's the end of that segment, and then there's a later bit. Okay, let me just check up on the chat real quick. Okay, looks like everything is fine. Need to go turn night into day. And maybe get rid of some of these extra sandy blocks. Sandy blocks do 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 do. Sandy blocks do 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 do. Sandy blocks do 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 do. Sandy blocks. RC No 1022 says good speed on the admins and mods. It's just me. I can't afford. Everybody on my staff makes a minimum of $20 an hour, which means that I can't afford to hire them for random Dracula streams. It's just me. It's just me tonight. On like Mario Kart streams or like stuff where I can't get my hands off the keyboard, yeah, I'll bring in other people. But like for a random Minecraft Dracula night, we're not bringing in enough revenue to cover somebody's costs there. Okay. But yeah, as a basic rule, if somebody is putting something in the chat that makes it harder for me to read the chat while I'm also reading Dracula, they're just gonna get banned. I'm not gonna warn them. Like that, whoever that, I don't even remember that person's name. But like, I was like, this person's using weird characters to be a jerk. I can't read those weird characters while I'm reading Dracula out loud. They're banned. Next problem. Chloe the Great and Powerful is wearing her own sun hat and cat eye glasses tonight. I can put the sun hat back on if it makes y'all feel better. How are we on? How much coffee is left in here? Okay, I think I need to do a hydration break. We are about halfway through the chapter. I think we're through most of the Van Helsing bits, but we're about to get to more Van Helsing bits. And so I think I would appreciate a break. Let's see from our spreadsheet here who we need to thank. Let's see. Stephanie Hall requested Lectern Full Cauldron. So let's say thank you to Patreon patron Stephanie Hall. Anyone who supports on Patreon at $20 or more a month gets to pick one song a month for me to play on a hydration break. So thank you, Stephanie Hall. Your support is appreciated. Here it is, Lectern Full Cauldron. This is a song I wrote about my fiance. It's 3.5 minutes long, and I will be back shortly.
I want a girl who will mine for her diamonds. I want a girl who can sort a chest. I want a girl with shears that cut and swords that burn through zombie flesh. I want a girl who knows world generation, who crafts furrows and times her attack. She's modding her community. She's flying through the air. She's smelting out impurities and feeding her cat. I want a girl with a lectern and a full cauldron. I want a girl who logs in early. I want a girl who plays till late. I want a girl with unobstructed creativity who uses a tripwire to ruin your day. With shulker boxes organized and lustrous in a tone that will torch you like desert grass. Who crafts furrows and times her attack. She's smelting out impurities and feeding her cat. I want a girl with a lectern and a full cauldron. whose shield is emblazoned. I want a girl with good enchantments. On some server we will meet incidentally. We'll start to talk as we shoot skeletons. She wants a spawn with biome convenience. She wants a spawn that's in good repair. She's changing her end from wither to dragon. She's trading her archery for a trident that's self-repairing. I want a girl with a lectern and a full cauldron.
Welcome back, everybody, from that hydration break. I hope you had a fantastic time. Let's go ahead and take down that hydration break side. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We have a little bit more Van Helsing left in this chapter. I hope y'all are ready for that. I don't know if I am. We're going to find out. It's going to be great, I promise. Okay. So we are in the process of clearing out the ocean inside of our pinball machine here. We've made some fantastic progress so far, and we're going to keep at it. So here we go. Okay, so if we continue with Dracula, Dr. Seward's segment continues here. And I think we wanna just roll in with that. Dr. Seward talks. Yeah, the whole rest of this chapter is a bunch of different entry. Oh wait, no. Dr. Seward goes for a while. Oh no, did I lose my place? Okay, so it goes Dr. Seward for a while, and then Jonathan Harker's journal. Okay, cool. So later, when the professor came in, we talked over the state of things. I could see that he had something on his mind which he wished to say, but felt some hesitancy about broaching the subject. After beating around the bush for a little while, he said suddenly,
Friend John, there is something that you and I must talk of alone. Just at the first, at any rate. Later, we may have to take the others into our confidence.
Then he stopped, so I waited. He went on.
Madam Mina, our poor dear Madam Mina is changing.
A cold shiver ran through me to find my worst fears thus endorsed. Van Helsing continued,
With the sad experience of Miss Lucy, we must this time be warned before things go too far. Our task is now, in reality, more difficult than ever. And this new trouble makes every hour of the direst importance. I can see the characteristics of the vampire upon her face. It is now but very, very slight, but it is to be seen if we have eyes to notice without prejudice. Her teeth are so sharper, and at times her eyes are more hard. But these not speak all. There is to her the silence now often, as so it was with Madame Lucy. She did not speak even when she wrote that which she wished to be known later. Now my fear is this: if it be that she can, by our hypnotic trance, tell what the Count see and hear, is it not more true that he who have hypnotized her first, and who have drink of her very blood, and make her drink of his, should, if he will, compel her mind to disclose to him that which she know?
I nodded acquiescence. He went on.
Then what must we do to prevent this? We must keep her ignorant of our intent, and so she cannot tell that which she know not. When today we meet, I must tell her that for reason which we will not to speak, she must be no more of our counsel, but be simply guarded by us.
He wiped his forehead, which had broken out in profuse perspiration at the thought of the pain he must have to inflict upon the poor soul already so tortured. I knew that it would be some sort of comfort to him if I told him that I had come to the same conclusion, for at any rate it would take away the pain of doubt. I told him, and the effect was as expected. It is now close to the time of our general gathering. Van Helsing has gone away to prepare for the meeting, and his painful part of it. I really believe his purpose is to be able to pray alone. That's the end of that segment there. See if we got any tips rolling in. Looks like we don't. Let's see if this next segment... the next segment has more Van Helsing. It's fine, I'm fine. I'm going to take a break and take a sip of my drink for a minute before we jump right into that then. I like the Van Helsing parts. I'm glad I decided to do it this way, but, like, I also have to accept I am a physical being with limits. So we're just going to go in and remove all of these. RC Note 1022 says, how long did it take to clear out all of this so far? I don't know. Oh, because, like, we've done it over the course of months. This is the first really concentrated effort I've made on it. Because, like, we spent, like, a bunch of time building a slime-powered flying machine or something to, like, clear out a bunch of the other parts at the higher levels. And then we're using sponges and sand on the lower levels where the terrain becomes difficult. Raleigh B says, the lovely sun hat really adds to the reading, Van Josing. Thank you. Thank you, Raleigh B. Rally Bravo. Thank you. And that didn't work exactly the way I wanted, but whatever. I mean, we are clearing out a lot of this pretty quick now that we've got, like, the good momentum. Because keep in mind, so the sea level is here. And we used flying machines to get it down to here. So we used flying machines to clear it out by about, like, 10, 12 blocks. And that's when we started hitting there's like ground level back here that we were running into. So the flying machines wouldn't work anymore, right? So we stopped using the flying machines and we started using sand. Okay. So we still have to put a bunch of sand that's going to drop in like dominoes over the guardian here. But we don't have time for that right now. Because we're gathering that sand at the moment. Sapphire Smith, enjoy your new shirt. Okay. All right. So, during my hydration break, I grabbed myself a Gatorade. So, I will not only be getting some hydration, I'll get some electrolytes. Okay. Not a stream sponsored by Gatorade. I just don't want you to worry about me that I'm going to drop dead. I feel like that's reassuring to let you know. I went with the brand name electrolyte replacement. If you want to pitch in toward more brand name electrolyte replacement... Oh, wait, no, that's the Patreon link. Where's the PayPal link? PayPal link. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay. Cool. I think we're ready to go. Oh, boy, I gotta get the whole throat warmed up. Okay. Grace Winter says, I appreciate when streamers don't die on stream. Excellent. That's one of those things like Grumbot. It's not that Grumbot doesn't support the arts. It's that he doesn't have money to pay for the arts. If you'd like to support streamers not dying on stream, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay. So I should probably get back into reading Dracula now. I just want to make some actual progress on this because I have to return the sponges soon. And so let's grab more rockets and okay. We have some more logs over here, and we have plenty of coal. We need to decorate this Christmas tree too, but that's like a separate thing. Okay. Into the storage. Where we keep the coal. Into the storage. Everybody knows. Probably should put some of these sticks away. Okay, so we have 4 stacks of those. Okay. That's probably enough right now to take the... That was not the best way to fly out there. Hey, we got our next tip rolling in. Let's go ahead and see who it is from. Mahi Zero tips 5 for name brand electrolytes. Thank you, Mahi Zero. That puts us 15 away from our next face camera expansion. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Welcome, Jamal Henderson in the YouTube chat. Glad you could join us tonight. We are reading chapter 24 of the original Bram Stoker's Dracula. So thank you for stopping by. We're going to drop some of these extra torches and coal and whatnot in here for the time being. Okay, so if we fill one column with these and then we put the rest in there, yeah, that feels medium to moderately responsible. Okay. Can we stack that bucket with something else? Like, you know, a second bucket. There it is. Did it. Roxanne in the Twitch chat tonight. Roxanne. I've just taken flight. Roxanne. Okay, we are reading Dracula, chapter 24. As the cool young streamers say, let's go. We are in the Dr. Seward second later. I don't think he knows about second later. Later, at the very outset of our meeting, a great personal relief was experienced by both Van Helsing and myself. Mrs. Harker had sent a message by her husband to say she would not join us at present, as she thought it better we should be free to discuss our movements without her presence to embarrass us. The professor and I looked at each other for an instant, and somehow we both seemed relieved. For my own part, I thought if Mrs. Harker had realized the danger herself, it was much pain, as well as much danger averted. Under these circumstances, we agreed by a questioning look and answer, with finger on lip, to preserve silence in our suspicions, until we should have been able to confer alone again. We went at once to our plan of campaign. Van Helsing put the facts before us first.
The Tsarina Catherine left the Thames yesterday morning. It will take her at the quickest speed she has ever made at least 3 weeks to reach Varna, but we can travel overland to the same place in 3 days. Now, if we allow for 2 days less for the ship's voyage, owing to such weather influences as we know the Count can bring to bear, and if we allow a whole day and a night for any delays which may occur to us, then we have nearly a margin of 2 weeks. Thus, in order to be quite safe, we must leave here on the 17th at least. Then we shall be, at any rate, in Varna a day before the ship arrives, and able to make such preparations as may be necessary. Of course, we shall all go armed against evil things, spiritual as well as physical.
Here, Quincy Morris added, I understand that the Count comes from a wolf country, and it may be he shall get there before us. I propose that we add Winchesters to our armament. I have a kind of belief in a Winchester when there is any sort of trouble around. Do you remember, Art, when we had the pack after us in Tobolsk? What wouldn't we have given then for a repeater apiece?
Good! Winchesters it shall be. Quincy's head is level at all times, but most so when there is to hunt. Metaphor be more dishonor to science than wolves be of danger to man. In the meantime, we can do nothing here. And I think that Vana is not familiar to any of us. Why not go there more soon? It is as long to wait here as there. Tonight and tomorrow we can get ready. And then, if all be well, we four can set out on our journey.
We four? Said Haka interrogatively, looking from one to another of us.
Of course! You must remain to take care of your so sweet wife.
Haka was silent for a while, and then said in a hollow voice, "Let us talk of it in the morning. I want to consult with Mina." I thought that now was the time for Van Helsing to warn him not to disclose our plans to her, but he took no notice. I looked at him significantly and coughed for answer. He put his finger on his lips and turned away. That concludes the Dr. Seward part of the thing. Stephanie Hall rolling in. Stephanie, we actually played your song earlier. Thank you for supporting the show. Glad you could join us. Yeah, the sun hat is because Dracula needed to book a ship before sunset. And I had seen like things in pop culture where like vampires wore sun hats to go out during the day. I didn't realize it was literally in Dracula. Is that like the sailors are talking about how this weird rich guy in a huge unfashionable sun hat came out to book a ship. But yeah, I'm glad you showed up at all. Thank you, Stephanie, for joining us this evening. F. Joliffe says, "Okay, what's with the hat?" I'm gonna guess that you didn't hear that, or you're about to hear that because there's a delay. But yeah, this is the hat that Dracula wore, kind of. This is actually my fiance's hat. We got it for when she went to PlayOnCon, but because it's hot at PlayOnCon and sunny because it's in July in Alabama, outdoors. But and being from England, the tolerance for the July Alabama sun is not necessarily high. My fiance is not Dracula, she's just British. We've been over this. We got a lot of people coming in asking a lot of the same questions we got earlier. It's okay. It's part of the streaming experience. But yeah, so yeah, this is a comparable sun hat to the one Dracula wore. We are just working on this. For those of you who are, I saw some people be like, "What is he building?" I have a giant pinball machine rising out of the ocean like Godzilla that I'm building. This is survival mode. It's 128 meters wide, 256 meters deep. I have been draining the ocean inside of this thing for a long time. And we got most of the water out of everything except for this bit over the Guardian Temple. Because the Guardian Temple has its own set of problems that we're going to come back to. But in the meantime, I'm clearing out the sand here while I read Dracula chapter 24. Dracula did want to be British, but he wasn't actually British. Chloe the Great and Powerful says, "The big sun hats are fun. I love putting them on and pretending I'm the wife who dies to provide the male main character with conflict." Oh, like the John Wick style, like dead wife footage or whatever. Manatee Gag, glad you're awake. I heard you were a little under the weather. Hope you're recovering well. Okay, I feel like this is actually coming along pretty good. Okay. Should probably start reading the next bit. We are 90 minutes in. Actually, slightly more. We're about 100 minutes into the stream. A lot of Van Helsing in this one. That's taking a lot out of me. But you know what? I said I was going to read all of Dracula one chapter at a time, 1 week at a time. And I'm going to follow through. Chloe the Great and Powerful says, yeah, where he remembers the wife on the beach. And she goes, haha, stop filming me. And then frolics down the beach to prove she was too pure for the harsh world. Yeah. There you go. I feel like there's some sort of joke. I don't know that I can monologue this, but there's some sort of joke to me, like telling somebody like Cleo, I'm too harsh for this pure world. And then she's like, Joe, the world isn't pure at all. And I'm like, I'm just in time then. Like, I don't think that works as a monologue. There's no way to do that as like one person, but I feel like that works as dialogue really well. I'm too harsh for this pure world. What pure world? Everything's garbage. I'm just in time then. Uh-oh. Sun's getting real low here. Hey, NJ. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Lay your head down, dream, everybody. Oh, time to wake up. Video games or something. Whatever this is. Okay. This is the most challenging. This is my 24th chapter I've read of this book, and this is the most challenging chapter yet. I'm not being like sarcastic or anything. Like when I'm taking some extra long breaks between the reading bits, it's because like this is legitimately like wow. I think the next bits should be easier because I don't think there's any more Van Helsing in them. So here we go. I get to use my far too serious work voice for Jonathan Harker's internal monologue. Jonathan Harker's journal. 5th of October. Afternoon. For some time after our meeting this morning, I could not think. The new phases of things leave my mind in a state of wonder, which allows no room for active thought. Mina's decision to not take part in any discussion set me thinking, and I could not argue the matter with her. I could only guess. I am as far as ever from a solution now. The way the others received it, too, puzzled me. The last time we spoke of the subject, we agreed there was to be no concealment of anything amongst us. Mina is sleeping now, calmly and sweetly, like a little child. Her lips are curved, and her face beams with happiness. Thank God there are still moments such as this for her. Later. How strange it all is. I sat watching Mina's happy sleep, and came as near to being happy myself as I suppose I shall ever be. As the evening drew on, and the earth took its shadows from the sun sinking lower, the silence of the room grew more and more solemn to me. All at once, Mina opened her eyes, and looking at me tenderly, said, Jonathan, I want you to promise me something, on your word of honor. A promise made to me, but made like holily, in God's hearing, and not to be broken, though I should go down on my knees and implore you with bitter tears. Quick, you must make it to me at once.
Mina, a promise like that, I cannot make at once. I may have no right to make it.
But, dear one, she said with such spiritual intensity that her eyes were like pole stars, it is I who wish it, and it is not for yourself. You can ask Dr. Van Helsing if I am not right, and if he disagrees with me, you may do as you will. Nay, more, if you all agree. Later, you are absolved from all promises.
I promise,
I said, and for a moment she looked supremely happy, though to me all happiness was denied by the red scar on her forehead. She said, Promise me you will not tell me anything of the plans formed for the campaign against the Count, not by word or by inference or by implication, not at any time whilst this remains to me. And she solemnly pointed to the scar. I saw she was in earnest and said solemnly,
I promise.
And as I said it, from that instant, I felt as though a door had been shut between us. Later, midnight. Mina has been bright and cheerful all the evening, so much so that all the rest seemed to take courage, as if infected somewhat with her gaiety. As a result, even I myself felt as if the pall of gloom which weighs us down were somewhat lifted. We all retired early. Mina is now sleeping like a little child. It is a wonderful thing that her faculty of sleep remains to her in the midst of her terrible trouble. Thank God for it, for then at least she can forget her care. Perhaps her example may affect me as her gaiety did tonight. I shall try it for a dreamless sleep. 6th of October, morning. Another surprise. Mina woke me early, about the same time as yesterday, and asked to bring Dr. Van Helsing. I thought it was another occasion for hypnotism, and without question went for the professor himself. He had evidently expected such call, for I found him dressed in his room. His door was ajar, so that he could hear the opening of our room. He came at once. As he passed into the room, he asked Mina if the others might come too. No, it will not be necessary. You can just tell them as well. I must go with you on your journey. Dr. Van Helsing was as startled as I was. After a moment's pause, he asked,
But why?
You must take me with you. I am safer with you, and you shall be safer too.
But why, dear Madam Mina? You know that your safety is our solemnest duty. We go into danger, to which you are, or may be, more liable than any of us from circumstances, things that have been.
He paused, embarrassed. As she replied, she raised her finger and pointed to her forehead. I know. That is why I must go. I can tell you now, whilst the sun is coming up, I may not be able to again. I know that when the Count wills me, I must go. I know that even if he tells me to come in secret, I must come by wile, by any device, to hoodwink even Jonathan. God saw the look that she turned on me as she spoke, and if there indeed be a recording angel, that look is noted to her everlasting honor. I could only clasp her hand. I could not speak. My emotion was too great for even the relief of tears. She went on. You men are brave and strong. You are strong in your numbers, for you can defy that which would break down the human endurance of anyone who had to guard alone. Besides, I may be of service, since you can hypnotize me and so learn that which even I myself do not know. Dr. Van Helsing said very gravely,
Madam Mina, you are, as always, most wise. You shall with us come, and together we shall do that which we go forth to achieve.
When he had spoken, Mina's long spell of silence made me look at her. She had fallen back on her pillow asleep. She did not even wake when I pulled up the blind and let in the sunlight which flooded into the room. Van Helsing motioned to me to come with him quietly. We went to his room, and within a minute Lord Godalming, Dr. Seward, and Mr. Morris were with us also. He told them what Mina had said, and went on.
In the morning we shall leave for Varna. We have now to deal with a new factor, Madam Mina. Oh, but her soul is true. It is to her an agony to tell us so much as she has done, but it is most right, and we were warned in time. There must be no chance lost, and in Varna we must be ready to act the instant the ship arrives.
What shall we do exactly? Asked Mr. Morris laconically. The professor paused before replying.
We shall at the first board that ship. Then, when we have identified the box, we shall place a branch of the wild rose on it. This we shall fasten, for when it is there, none can emerge. So at least says the superstition. And to superstition must we trust at the first. It was man's faith and the early, and it have it root in faith still. Then, when we get the opportunity that we seek, when none are near to see, we shall open the box, and all will be well.
I shall not wait for any opportunity. When I see the box, I shall open it and destroy the monster. Though there were 1,000 men looking on, and if I am to be wiped out for it the next moment. I grasped his hand instinctively and found it as firm as a piece of steel. I think he understood my look. I hope he did.
Good boy, said Dr. Van Helsing. Brave boy. Quincy is all man. God bless him for it. My child, believe me, none of us shall lag behind or pause from any fear. I do but say what we may do, what we must do. But indeed, we cannot say what we shall do. There are so many things which may happen, and their ways and their ends are so various that until the moment we may not say. We shall all be armed in all ways, and when the time for the end has come, our effort shall not be lack. Now, let us today put all our affairs in order. Let all things which touch on others dear to us, and whoon we depend, be complete, for none of us can tell what, or when, or how the end may be. As for me, my own affairs are regulate, and I have nothing else to do. I shall go make arrangements for the travel. I shall have all tickets and so forth for our journey. There was nothing else further to be said, and we parted. I shall now settle up all my affairs of earth and be ready for whatever may come. Later. It is all done. My will is made, and all complete. Mina, if she survive, is my sole heir. If it should not be so, then the others who have been so good to us shall have remainder. It is now drawing towards the sunset. Mina's uneasiness calls my attention to it. I am sure that there is something on her mind which the time of exact sunset will reveal. These occasions are becoming harrowing times for us all, for each sunrise and sunset opens up some new danger, some new pain, which, however may be in God's will, be a means to a good end. I write all these things in the diary, since my darling must not hear them now, but if it may be that she can see them again, they shall be ready. She is calling to me. And thus ends chapter 24 of Dracula by Bram Stoker. Woo! We made it. That was a challenging one. I'm sorry to y'all that the audio, I don't have somebody here to get the audio up and down when I'm yelling. Chloe the Great and Powerful says, I love the juxtapositions between Jonathan's internal and external dialogue. Elijah says, what a great line to end that chapter on. Dory Bristy says, Joe, you survived. I was worried about this one. I don't normally worry about these shows, but the second I saw last week that this was a Van Helsing chapter, I was like, oh no. Oh no. Chapter 25 that we're going to read next Saturday. Because next Saturday is the 17th. We are doing a stream the 17th. And then we're going to do the last two chapters. I think 26 and 27 are going to be in January, because I'm going to have Christmas weekend and New Year's weekend off. Yeah. So we'll finish the book in the new year. I checked. I was like, are 26 and 27 going to be short chapters? Maybe we can combine them. No, they're actually extra long. They're extra long. Gusty Gale says we can see the perspiration from here. Whew.
Yeah, we made it. Congratulations. You made it to the end of another chapter of Dracula. Okay, we're gonna put the surplus sand in here for now, just so we can pick it up. Okay, so what time is it? 10:28. Okay, so we've been going for 2 hours. Unlike on a school night, I don't actually have to end at 10:30 to get things ready for bed. But I'm gonna need a chill few minutes, y'all. I'm gonna need a chill few minutes before we can, like... I had a story. Kingu reminded me of a story I wanted to talk about earlier. And I just have I haven't gotten to it yet. No, don't dump a cooler of Gatorade on me. Relly B says, do you normally read books on stream? Normally Saturday nights I would read poems on stream. But 24 weeks ago on Saturday night, I started reading Dracula Chapter 1 on stream. And so poetry night became Dracula night. So we're going to finish Dracula, and then we might go back to poetry after that for a while. I don't know if I'm going to be jumping right into a new book right away. Okay. So we're going to put the hydration break sign on, and I'm going to take a break. And I just need to walk around and stretch after that and, just rest my voice for a few minutes. And then we're going to get back. I'm going to tell a story, and we're going to do some work on the build here. So let's go ahead, put up that hydration break sign. Let's see, who do we need to thank? Hey, Sean requested My Destinies in Tennessee, my Pokemon Go rhyming geography song I wrote from Sean Hills Sings Joe Hills Volume 1. So let's go ahead and put that on here. Where is it? My Destinies in Tennessee. Let's sort these alphabetically. LM. Of course, it's reverse.
Folks say to be the very best, you gotta travel across the land. But I'm happy here at pretty good, just out walking with my friends. So you can fly from coast to coast for all the antics events. But my destiny's here in Tennessee, my Pokedex in hand. You run your laps chasing the kittens in Providence, and you arc your throws for Electabuzz in St. Louis. But when you're lost in Boston seeking Pokestops, boo-hoo, we'll all still be spinning them up on Rocket Top. It's true. Well, you can race to catch 'em all and fall flat on your face. We'll hatch our Togepi's here in Tennessee at our own predestined pace. We don't need Tanglers from Los Angeles. If you're there chasing Charizard, you're making your life way too hard. Clutching garlic, pounding pavement down Ventura Boulevard. We don't need Nidoqueens from down New Orleans. I hate to rain on solo you, but parades need a willing crew. All those squirtles on St. Charles saw you wandering and withdrew. Well, you can race to catch 'em all and fall flat on your face. We'll hatch our Togepi's here in Tennessee at her own predestined pace. We don't need Lapras from Minneapolis or polar bears from Mississippi's. There's enough Weedles on Montego. We could evolve a swarm of Beedrill. There's enough Snubble down the shovel. We could team sled with Grumble. We don't need Oregon from out in Oregon or any Pikachus from up in Massachusetts. Sorry, Professor Oklahoma, we'll raid gyms in Tullahoma. Sorry, Pokecoin Palooka, we'll hatch on hikes in Chattanooga. Well, you can race to catch 'em all and fall flat on your face. We'll hatch our Togepi's here in Tennessee at our own predestined pace. Well, you can race to catch 'em all and fall flat on your face. We'll hatch our Togepi's here in Tennessee at our own predestined pace.
Welcome back from that hydration break. I should probably take down the hydration break sign now that we are through it. Woo. This is what I couldn't do while reading the Van Helsing parts, because in order to get that strongman vibrato, you have to flex. You cannot do that voice without flexing. It doesn't work. So this was not a very productive stream from a getting Minecraft stuff done standpoint. So we're going to quickly try and get some more Minecraft in real quick. We are building a series of dominoes that we can drop on the guardians below, which I think is going to be really great. I'm using 2 keyboards because you can't rebind escape in Minecraft. And so I have the escape key on one keyboard right below the spacebar on the other. So I can hit the escape button. It's not perfect, but it works. Because I tried using the escape key on the main keyboard, but there was no way for me to hit shift with my pinky on the primary keyboard and then roll over to escape without like the tendons in my arm seizing up. Whereas by putting the escape key on the second keyboard directly below the space bar on the primary, this is easy enough to do. Whoops. Fake Circon says, have you considered switching shift to toggle? I don't think... So the thing is, sneak toggle doesn't... I need to hold shift to place the signs. You can't place signs on other signs unless you hold down shift. And I don't think that the sneak toggle fixes that. It's like a different class of shifting. So it's not that I'm holding shift to stop from falling off. It's that I'm shifting so I can place the signs. Okay, so we should have some more wood in here somewhere, but we might be out. Luckily, I've got a whole bunch of logs stored elsewhere that we can quickly grab. Fake Circon says toggle sneak does work for that. Really? Well, that's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, I tried using a foot pedal situation, Superstone. I actually did try that on the stream earlier today. The second keyboard under my thumb actually is working better for this. You're not... I know Impulse does that, and I see why that would work well for him. But, so he's a drummer, and so he's used to using foot pedals to command things. and I'm not. And so it's easier for me to use my thumb this way than it is for me to foot pedal this. That doesn't mean that foot pedals wouldn't be the better investment in long term, but because I already told Jevin I was going to try and get him back his sponges tomorrow, trying to get this done. Kingu says he also has actual foot pedals, not just a keyboard under his feet. Yeah, that's the thing, is I was just putting a keyboard under my feet and trying to control it and having trouble. So there's a little bit of a difference there, I guess. I'll concede that. The foot keyboard is funny, but I'm not good enough at it to use it at the rate that we need to get these sponges back to Jevin on time. Okay, so let's get these signs in here. We're pretty far along here. Moving right along. Do 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 do. So let's try this toggle sneak thing. Just okay, so now you're saying I don't have to hold shift to do this? Oh. You're right, I don't. Well, that's going to be a huge speed up. Thank you, Fake Zircon, for that. You can also type in chat while on ladders. Really? That's cool. Okay, so now, do we bring any extra sand with us? We did not, because we traded it all out for signs. We need to trade the signs for sand. Just like the signs for sand, trade it out, feel like we're trading. Do, 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 do. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to do here. We're going to have to go in and change more key commands. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, anything but that. Oh, that wasn't. Thought we were. I don't know how to tell if I've toggled shift or not, I guess is the problem that I'm running into. Okay, so I think I've got it toggled. Okay. So wait, did I not have it toggled? why aren't my boots on? I was like, why am I taking so much fall damage? Okay, so now I'm sneaking. Okay. Are we still sneaking? Nope, no. So I don't know if galloping blocks is going to work with this on. Oh, dang it. Yeah, we might turn this off when we're not placing signs, because I feel like it's not helping me with the galloping blocks. Okay, we need to go use the bed anyway, real quick. So now 3 and 9 are going to go to this. Okay, so we can just galloping blocks our way across this now. So we're going to have to come back with torches on this. Don't worry. We're not going to forget about that. Nope, not on top. Never on top. Worthless there. Okay, so we're going to get these dumped out here. Hey, the Grumpy Bunny. Glad you could join us tonight. We are playing some HermitCraft. Hope you like HermitCraft, because that's what you're getting. Okay, so let's galloping blocks this across here. Hoping those torches hold up. I put them kind of closer together than they need to be, ostensibly so that the higher levels it wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, sound does sound good with galloping blocks. Okay, so we're going to let up right before our last row. Why, you might ask? So that we can switch back to signs and do the next row of signs. We don't want to get too high with each row of signs. Uh-oh. So we're going to take all the signs back out. Put all the sand back. Take all the signs back out. Now we'll grab whatever sand is left. We don't technically need that right now. Don't need that right now. Don't need that right now or that. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this on the whole. Let's go ahead and eat some food. Okay. from here. Oh, I forgot. I was supposed to do this before I did that other row. Oh, I screwed this up. Still learning. Okay. So let's think about this. Oh, boy. That's the easiest way to fix this. We might just have to do this incredibly suboptimally. Oh, I don't want to do this incredibly suboptimally. Yeah, we might just have to go up higher. So there was a story about glass. Yeah. There was going to be a story about glass. Kingu. So Kingu was saying earlier that whatever mugs his daughter had purchased were like really good mugs, because one of them had fallen and was like absolutely fine. And I heard a story from one of my friends who was talking about how, dang it, why am I... Oh, it's because I'm on the wrong keyboard. The second keyboard doesn't deal with repeated keys the same way, and it's failing. So the thing is, one of my friends was talking about how, like, glass is really weird, and how he knows a bartender who was commenting that, like, yeah, you can never really tell how glass is going to handle a fall or any sort of force or impact, because, like, one day you'll be, like, going to grab a glass, like a pint glass, and it'll, like, slip out of your hand, bounce off the ground, and you can catch it midair. And then another day, you'll set a pint glass down on the bar, and just a little bit too much force, and it'll just shatter on the bar from being set down. And my friend's like, wow, you know, like, glass, wow. And I'm like, dude, it's the same glass. Like, a bartender might deal with, like, 50 or 100 individual pint glasses over the course of a shift or whatever, because they're running them in and out of the dishwasher. But the glass that shatters when you put it down on the bar the wrong way is the one you dropped last week. That's... like, even if you can't see it, even if it looks perfectly fine, like, it's the same glass. That's why. It's not a huge mystery. And I feel like there's some sort of metaphor here for, like, trauma or people, but I haven't had the time to figure that out. JKA says it's microfractures. Yeah, let's just go with that. Microfractures. Okay, so we're going to go back to our controls real quick. We're going to turn off our keybinds. We're going to sneak back to toggle. Okay, so... yeah, use tooltips to check its durability. Because, like, just because the glass took a beating like that once doesn't mean it's super glass, Kingu. It just means the next time that you run it through the dishwasher, it's going to come out in pieces, right? Like... whoops. Did not... I should get that out of my offhand. Okay. This is actually one of the most mentally intense things I've ever done in Minecraft. I normally don't work with multiple keyboards at once. And so even though this makes it faster, it's actually requiring way more of my attention than usual to not, like, time this wrong. So it's like, click, escape, strafe. Click, escape, strafe. Click, escape, strafe. Click, escape, strafe. So sometimes every 16 we have to middle click. Click, escape, strafe. Click, escape, strafe. Click, escape, strafe. I have to... Toxic Litter says, just because you don't see the cracks doesn't mean they aren't there. Rally B says, much respect, this seems painfully tedious. I think it's going to look really good in the episode when we have it all come down at once. Like a crazy string of dominoes. Hey, Craig. We are dropping a bunch of sand to separate the area out over the Guardian Temple. The Ocean Temple. Would it be better to rebind right click? Not in this context, no. Because I need to keep my hand on the mouse so I can get it aligned properly. Because I can't time the strafing perfectly, so I have to keep adjusting this so I'm not, like, hitting the top of the sign. Elytra, straight into bed. So you see how we're basically putting sand on top of signs so that we can do this elaborate drop of all the sand at once onto the Guardians. Oh, are we... Wait, that's not shift. Okay, so now we're shifting. Oh, wait. No, we have the second keyboard, so we can hit escape on the second keyboard. Oh, come on. Hey, Chloe, congrats on qualifying for that educational grant. Good luck with your studies. Yeah, so I'd have to perfectly time the strafing to not have to adjust the mouse, and I'm not that good at timing things. Is the problem, Grace Wonder. I'm trying to be consistent with my strafing. But see, like that, see, it ends up on top if I'm a little bit short. Or it ends up on the side there. Neither of those are particularly helpful. I'm like, even when I'm super paying attention to it, it's... But if I super pay attention to it, I can't read the chats at the same time, and that's the problem. Or that's a separate problem. Okay. So, options, controls, sneak toggle. Okay, off. Okay. Let's, go grab some more sand here. La da 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 da. Okay, so we're gonna roll back up here. Dang it, I missed it. I can do this. Okay. Okay, so now I need to rebind. There's a lot of rebinding in this process. Whoops, no. Q. Hey, Ecologs, yeah, we finished Dracula Chapter 24. Now we're just trying to get the actual work of the stream done, which involves galloping blocks. Uh-oh, I messed that up. Oh, you can't have hot bar fireworks when you're doing galloping blocks either. That's a recipe for disaster. Okay. Dang it. It's hard to get this exactly started here, because I can't target that directly. Oh, come on. There it is. Yeah, because these signs aren't as good a galloping block target as the normal stuff. There we go. Just got to keep that aligned properly. If I put one layer of sand on there, it would make the rest of it easier. But once I get it actually properly aligned, as you can see, it's actually fine. Hello, Left. I shaved as part of the HermitCraft charity stream a while back. I said if we hit a certain milestone, I would shave, and then we surpassed it, so I did. So thank you to the entire community for being so generous, supporting Gamers Outreach, getting cool video game console carts into hospitals for children. Okay. So this time, we're going to do this right. And we're not going to put sand on the top on our way back because we need to set the... It's the top of the hour, says Mantua Maker. Oh, yeah, we've been going for 2.5 hours now. So thank you all for joining me. I should probably mention that this is my job, and if you enjoy the show, feel free to support it. Tips are welcome via PayPal.me. Why is that not pasting? Did I change my keybinds for copy and pasting? Yeah, there it is. Tips are welcome via PayPal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Nepotus Legion says, is there a practical difference between Gamers Outreach and Child's Play? Child's Play is more general. Gamers Outreach specifically builds carts with consoles and TVs in them for the hospitals. Child's Play is more general. They do all sorts of games and board games and stuff. But yeah. Remember, yeah, so that's the thing, is we're going to put the signs down now before we do the next row. Did not do that right. Oh, actually, I can't do this yet anyway. I don't need Tweakaroo, Ecologs. I have a second keyboard with the escape button near my thumb. Because you can't rebind the escape key in Minecraft. I tried. Okay, so we're going to take these, and we're going to make these. And so let's go ahead. We're going to get rid of some of the... we need to keep some sand. Not all of it. And then we need to make more signs. Woo. How are we on Elytra? Not great, but not dead either. Okay. So, Options. Controls. Sneak is now toggle. Keybinds. That's back to clicking. Okay, so shift. We are now shifted. Yeah, so I actually did it at the correct height this time. Whoops. So this is way easier. I still have to remember every 16 signs to switch it over, but this is way easier than the way I had it before. This is the actual intended plan. Have a good night, Ejo. Click escape. Click escape strafes. Click escape strafe. Click escape strafes. Click escape. Okay. Click escape strafe. Click escape strafe. The A is where I strafe before hitting escape. I was wrong. Two for All says, "Can I join the server?" Do you play on Empire's SMP? We just had a bunch of the Empire's SMP join us, but I don't know everybody over there. If so, Grian already sent you the IP address and stuff. Usually the Dracula streams take a lot more out of me. This one was actually the most difficult or challenging Dracula stream yet. So I chugged a Red Bull before drinking a French press full of coffee. And so I am still awake. Despite the amount of energy it burned trying to read the dialogue from this incredibly challenging chapter, I'm still awake thanks to the fact that I doubled down. Normally it's Red Bull or a French press full of coffee, not both. This is a very high caffeine night for me. Okay. Yeah, it does sound healthy, Chloe the Great and Powerful. But, you know, we all make sacrifices for art. Okay. Okay. Lay your head down and dream. Is it morning already? Yeah. It's not a perfect system, but it's the system we have. Also, how am I for signs? I actually needed to make more while I was down there, didn't I? Okay. Okay, so we need to grab more logs from our logged thing here, make more planks, turn those into more signs. Okay. Here we go. So, shift. So we need click escape strafe. Click escape strafe. Whew. We made it. Okay, so now that we've completed that row, we actually need to go back and get more sand so we can galloping blocks a second row on here. Because this is a super convoluted mechanism. I'm doing this to get like 8 seconds of footage in the episode, but I think it's going to be worth it. And I'm frequently wrong about everything, but that doesn't mean I'm wrong about this. That just means I'm likely wrong about this. Options, video settings, No, options, controls. Sneak is back to hold. So use item is going to be Q. Echolog says, I missed the explanation for this. I honestly can't figure out what you're doing. I am setting this up so I can use galloping blocks to put sand in rows down there. You can't use galloping blocks when you're getting attacked by guardians. Dang it. And there go half my... This is why I said, y'all, you can't have rockets in your hotbar when you use galloping blocks. So, you can use galloping blocks underwater, normally. But if you're being shot at by guardians, you can't. I've been playing on HermitCraft since week 5 of Season 1. I was actually the first person invited to join the server that was not a founding member, making me the original new guy. Welcome, Lucy Games Raiders. My name is Joe Hills. I'm broadcasting live from Nashville, Tennessee, here on the HermitCraft server, where I am in the process of trying to drain the ocean inside my pinball machine. It is 128 meters wide by 256 meters deep. Yes, that is a lot of pinball machine, but it's going to be worth it when it's done. This is a year-long project that I am only about maybe a third of the way through. Maybe I'm closer to half. It's hard to say with something this big, but it's a lot of fun. Whoops. We need these to be on the side because we're putting more sand here. Rolcon says, you weren't invited, though? No, I was invited. I was the first person invited to join the server that wasn't a founding member. I don't know what part of that was unclear. They had a wait list. I didn't just, like, log in. Okay. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and get more sand in our hotbar. We actually need to add another row back here now that we've built that up on that side. Dang it! I hate that when you use the keyboard to switch block columns, it ruins your momentum. Okay, so we're looking pretty good here on the whole. So we need to get some more signs out here because we are about to go work our way this way for another row of stuff. Okay. Okay, this is the row that the blocks are going to land down there, right? Great, okay. Cool. I don't know if this is going to be enough to do the whole row. Okay, because this is... We got about... 16 is 32, 64. It's probably not enough. That's fine. Just as a quick reminder, though, we are $15 away from the next face camera expansion, and tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay. Let's go. So we need to controls, keybinds, right button, sneak is toggle, Shift, escape, strafe, click escape, strafe, click escape, strafe. Whoops. We need to get rid of that. That does not go there. Sorry. Nepeta says, Joe, you're going to have so many signs just floating in the water when this drops. How is that a problem? That's fine. That's okay. Oops. Forgot to switch to a new stack. One, two, three, four. Oh, we still got a few of these to go, don't we? And we are out of signs only partway through here. Okay. We do still have more logs. Biggest Cakeman says, I love your glasses. Thank you. Okay, so looking at what we've got with us. If we grab these here, I don't know if we're going to get enough signs to finish. Yeah, that's not enough. So we're going to grab a half stack of rockets, third of a stack of rockets. There's still a ton of logs over in these chests over here, or barrels. Ow, that was a leaf. Should probably just bring all this over there. Uh-oh. Did I lose the internet? I can no longer open inventories. Usually that happens when the internet's dead, but it looks like the stream is still going. Oh, I was shifting. Stupid toggle shift. Forgot I had that set. Thank you. Yeah, it didn't feel like I was moving slow because of Swift Sneak. Nepeta says, I think I found your Tumblr. It's just Joe Hills. It's nothing fancy. It's not hard to find. Okay, so click, escape, strafe. Click, escape, strafe. Click, escape, strafe. was wrong. Let's fix it. Oops. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to turn that off right away because it drives me nuts. I'm done. Okay. Okay. So, we're going to eat a potato or 2 or 6. Okay, so then we come back here. How are we for sand? Do we have enough sand for the whole row? We might not. It's hard to say. Definitely going to get the food out of our inventory or out of our hotbar here. Or the, Okay, options, controls, keybinds, use items. Whoops. Okay, galloping blocks. Oh, dang it. Goo. Bonjour, Mark 0G. And then we knocked that out. Now that we've finished that, we can add another row to this one on our way back. Ooh, we don't have enough sand for that, though. We'll get it. Don't worry. Yeah, I might invite some of the Empire's people over here to watch me punch out this, the block. Or I might ask, like, if Ollie wants to punch it out. Right? Because that seems like something that would be enjoyable. I don't actually speak French, Mark 0G. I was just reading your bonjour back to you. I think it was actually bonsoir. Yeah, galloping blocks is the best technique I've ever discovered in Minecraft. Like, this is just so much faster than doing this the way I used to do it. Oh my gosh, it's wild how effective this is. So we gotta use it before it gets patched out. Okay, so options, controls, keybinds, back to right button. There. Okay. So while we're over here, we're gonna go ahead and place some torches on here to make sure that we don't have any lighting problems on the way home. Do. Okay, so we need to build stairs here so we can climb back up this easily. Okay. Then we are going to put that there. Put that there. think this is the right one, so we're going to drop that, and it should land. It did. Great. So we are aligned. This will be slightly easier to do if we put this at this level. So we're going to do it there. And then we can come along this way. Now we go back in and we change our controls again. Oh, wait. No auto jump. Sneak to toggle. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And food 9. Okay, so sneak was not on. Let's make sure that when we set sneak to toggle, we actually hit shift. There it is. Okay. Stretching. Okay. Shift. Okay, so we are shifted properly. So it's click, escape, strafe. Dang it. We need to get rid of that sand in our offhand. So maybe even put a totem in there just for kicks. Yeah, there we are. Okay, we're shifted properly. Click, escape, strafe. Click, escape, strafe. And I'm out of signs. But it's about to be nighttime anyway, so on the whole, that wasn't a bad run of this. The voice says, just join the stream. Where are you on the server? I am near the shopping district. If you know where Cleo's dragon head thing is, and the rest of the shopping district. Here's the back of the dragon head. There's my axolotl bucket. There's Scar's redstone shop. That tower, the portal, the wasp, all that. I buy right there. We actually need to lay our head down and dream before mobs start spawning. We are trying to remove the sand from inside my pinball machine here. It's a work in progress. Oh, morning already. Here we are. Oh boy, already. Every day. Oh, how does that happen? How does morning happen every day? Okay, so let's grab some of these sticks here, these planks, and let's make some more signs. Okay, great. And we are going to put these sticks back. And we are going to grab more sand. I really don't need these broken shovels. They're not adding a lot of value in the traditional sense. Everything happens so much. Okay, so we've got... Okay, so it's click, escape, strafe. Strafe. Dang it. I can definitely feel it in my eyes that I'm starting to get tired. So we're probably going to wrap up the stream relatively soon. We have been going for about 3 hours now. We streamed for about 3 hours before today. But, I mean, when we started today, we hadn't drained half the water in this whole thing. And now we've drained 3/4 of the water. So we drained 1/4 of it, and we reclaimed a bunch of the sand. And started work on this elaborate contraption to drop water on the Guardian Temple. Don't you just hate it when you get sand in your pinball machine? I know, right? We've gotten a lot done today. Well, and that's the thing, though, is I wanted to show the viewers that, like, hey, just because we took a break from the HermitCraft server doesn't mean we're not ready to go high speed, low drag on our builds. Because, like, I have a bunch of Christmas stuff I want to do with the Empire's people in the Christmas village, but I don't want... I feel like if I show up and I immediately ignore my pinball machine, it's gonna feel to the viewers like I'm not, like, really back yet, right? So we're gonna hit the pinball machine hard, then we'll do Christmas stuff in the Christmas village with the Empire's people. Now, this is such a stupid idea, but it's so elegant. It's going to work. That's the crazy part. This is actually going to dump a bunch of sand on the Guardians in a way where they can't shoot at me while I'm dropping sand on them. I'm very pleased. But thank y'all so much to everybody who joined us for the stream. Appreciate you hanging out during Dracula. Those of you who tipped are especially appreciated. Let's go ahead and see what's going on in the broader world of Twitch. Twitch.tv. And see who we can raid. Grumbly noises. A lot of grumbly noises. Ooh! Hot Nudge is playing Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, of course, a Steven Spielberg film. Very fun. I normally read Hot Nudge on Thursday nights, but because I'm going to be raiding my magnificent sibling next Thursday, we should give Hot Nudge a special raid tonight. They've got some folks watching us play Jurassic Park now. Ooh, it's loud. So I'm going to go ahead and hit copy/raid Jurassic Park. Raid Hot Nudge. Don't raid Jurassic Park. That's probably a different channel. Boom. Jurassic Park. The most Jurassic of all parks. When you get over there, our raid message is, howdy y'all, Joe Hills raid here. And until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Stop streaming.